All right, we should be recording and it's all yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys can click, by the way. I know some of you just hopped on. If you click start video, I could see your faces, which is always awesome. Um, I don't know why it's set up so that the video didn't start right away, but there we go. Hey, Carla. Now I can see some more of your faces. Hey, Sabrina. So we are going to do a Q&A tonight, but Amber, but I wanted to chat with you all first a little bit. So when Jess asked me to talk to everybody tonight, I'm going to set this right here. Um, Initially, she asked me, could you just talk a little bit about what I was just recently at leadership in Las Vegas, and it's my, oh my gosh, seventh year qualifying to go to leadership. So that was pretty awesome, and it's always a great event. Um, However, she's like, "Is there anything really great you could share?" Having coming back from leadership, that you think the team could use or needs to hear, etc. And I kind of went back to her, and we had already talked about this a little bit, but I was like, not really. So I sat down and just kind of thought and thought and thought today, and I'm like, what is it that I took away from leadership this year? And if there's one thing that I took away, it's that this team in particular knows everything there is to know about this business, is capable of doing everything there is to do with this business. And really and truly, it was a reiteration that this business is simple. It is simple to do, and it is simple not to do. And there's just, you guys have the best trainers in the world. Your superstar diamond upline is Melissa McAllister. She's been in this business forever. She's a double superstar diamond. She's five-time top 10. Like, she's taught you everything. You have access to her training, the Teammate University new coach training, as well as the diamond training. You have me as your, one of your uplines, who I'm never will I ever hide something from you. I cannot be successful if you're not successful. This is a team effort, right? You have Jess, you have Aubrey, you have all these people ahead of you that have trained you and taught you. And guys, there is nothing left that is unique or unknown about this business. So when I sat down and thought about that, and the fact that if that's the truth, and I do believe that that's the truth, what do I have left? What value can I bring to you guys tonight? So I thought about what qualities my two top leaders that I have attracted to this business share in common. What is it about them that makes them so special? And when I just like brain dumped this list of reasons why I know as their coach that they've been successful, I thought about it and I'm like, man, I'm looking at things that I've done. I could say it about Melissa. I could say it about people cross-line from me. This list that I came up with really and truly applies to the successful people that I know in this business. And I'm actually going to go through it really super quickly. It's not something you even really need to take notes on. If you want to, you can come back and watch the recording. But I just want to share with you, when I think about Jessica Kennedy and Aubrey Warren, are two people who have been with me forever and have consistently grown, have consistently changed, and have consistently been successful in the business, right? What is it about them that made that so? So first, the very first thing that popped into my mind was that both Jess and Aubrey are honest with themselves about their priorities, their goals, and their drive. And what I mean by that is their priorities, first and foremost, like they know that their family is their number one priority. They know that their health is a top priority. Like, and when I say that, I mean, like, they don't just know it, like, they live it. Can I get a yes? Right? They live it. They don't just say it. They act on those priorities. Then they align their goals with that, and they have goals. Okay. And then they have the drive to actually follow through on all that shit. Right? So that is such an important factor. Number two, both of them are not afraid to say no. They know when to say no. They know that saying no to them to someone else means saying yes to themselves. And they're good at realizing, again, it goes back to knowing those priorities. That was kind of why that one was the first one for me. That's why they know their priorities, their goal, and their drive. And so it's easier for them to say no when something doesn't align with all of the above. Make sense? Also, Aubrey and Jess have insane focus. And what I mean by that is not that they're these crazy, like for anybody who's ever read like the 10x rule, where like you work 10 times harder and you do everything 10 times more. I don't mean that when I say insane focus. I mean that in the crazy chaos of life, they again know what's important in the business and in life, and they're able to laser focus on those few really small, maybe mundane things, and they can grow with inches and in inches with blinders every day. That's what I mean when I say they have insane focus. Here's the next thing that I've found to be so important. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had in the last month with people who have said, I've been meaning to reach out to you forever, but the difference with Jess and Aubrey is when they need to talk to me, they text me and say, hey, can we talk? And then they're clear with me on what they need. Usually they'll follow that, hey, can we talk, with a, I need your advice as a friend, or I need to vent, or I have an idea, can I run it by you? Okay, they're very clear about what they need from me. And that's important for any conversation with someone, but it's also important in a business like this where friendships and business collide. Sometimes it's a text that says, hey, I need you as a friend. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm asking you as a coach, or as my coach. So it's so important that you reach out before the burnout happens, before the problems are too late, or worst case, I think I'm about to quit. Well, why didn't you reach out 6 months ago? Right? So they reach out for advice and support, and they're very clear on what they need. Next, if they ask for advice and I give it to them, Suzanne, cover your ears. They fucking apply it. You guys, I could just pull my hair out. I mean to tell you how many conversations I have when people go, okay, I know, yep. And they take that advice, and 6 months later, they're back and we're having the same conversation because they don't apply the advice. Jess and Aubrey have always applied that advice. Now, the addendum to that would be that they do it in their own way. They are able to take what I say and make it their own, right? We have enough in common, yes, that we're friends, but we're also different enough that, you know, if Jess spoke as bluntly as I did, her audience would be like, what? Where is this person coming from? You know, and vice versa. So they take that advice, but they make it their own, and they're not afraid to figure out how to do that. The next thing that they've done is have a consistent message and a consistent presence. I think Jess has been a coach. I think they're both started right around the same time, 2009, 2010, probably around 2010, 2011. So they're looking at probably 6 or 7 years that they've both been coaches. And hold on one second. Yeah? You don't feel good. Come here and lay down by mom. I know. I know. I know. I can see that. Come lay down. Mom's on a call, but you can lay right here, okay? Just lay down now. There you go. Sorry. Okay. Through all of that time, they've always had a consistent message. I mean, when you think about Jess, immediately you could probably think of a list of 3 or 5 things that she stands for. For those of you who know Aubrey, you could probably do the same. They have been consistent in and out throughout the years. The next few things, they plan for the future, and they have goals and dreams that they don't give up on. I've known these ladies for a long time, and I know what they're working for. They share it. They share it with me as their coach, with me as their friend, but they also share it with their audience. And I think it's very clear that they know what they're working for. It's tangible to them, and they go for it. Kind of along the same lines, they know their niche. The next one, again, has come up a lot recently with people, the same people that I'm having conversations with about, maybe they're wanting to quit or they're not seeing success in the business. Something that's missing is they're not staying close to me. They're not watching me. And if I'm your direct upline, I'm the heart of your community, right? Like, we should be connected. We should be texting. We should be talking. I should see you in the team page. I should see you on team calls. We should be connected in some way, shape, or form, right? And the same goes for you and whoever your upline is, or your adopted upline, however that might work for you. The same goes for events. When I look back over the years, I've never missed an event. And you guys know me well enough to know I don't actually like events. I don't like Summit. It is not my favorite thing. Big crowds wear me out. I don't enjoy them. I'm the opposite of that. I like to be alone to get energized. Being in crowds makes me tired and worn out, and it just stresses me out. I don't like Summit. I really don't like Super Saturdays because I just don't like them. But in 8 years of coaching, I have never missed a Super Saturday. I've never missed a Summit, and I've never missed a leadership. And neither have Jess or Aubrey. Anything that there has been an event for, they've been there. And that's important. Personal development queens. Every successful coach that I look at, personal development. They've never quit, regardless of how many times they've failed and at what. Changes in life, changes in marriage, changes with kids, changes in political or economic environment, changing of team members, leaving team members, adding new ones. These guys just adjust their sails and keep going, right? They're willing to change. They're willing to grow. This is probably my favorite one. They act more than they talk. So when I get those text messages saying, hey, can we talk? Our conversations are brief. They're to the point. They take away what they need, and then they go apply, and they act. And I don't ever have the same conversation twice with them. Never. Never. They ask for help and hire help, whether it's free help from family and friends or paid help from paid sources, but they get help when and how they can to make their lives easier. So that it goes back to number 1, priorities, right? So that their other priorities can stay in check. And then the last thing is they never once, well, maybe once, once really super early on for both of them. But after that, they've never considered quitting. So if, again, those aren't, do you see like the pattern there? There was nothing business specific about that. All of that was attitude and action. All of it. It was life stuff. Mindset, attitude, action, application. There is nothing crazy, like secret about this business. The things that I just mentioned are the things that create success. And that's all the stuff. The good news is that's the stuff you can control, right? We can't control Facebook affinity. We can't control that Snapchat's not cool anymore. Now it's all on Instagram. Like, we can't do any of that. What we can do is control our attitude and our mindset and our work ethic. Yes, I'm wearing the hat tonight because I'm all about work ethic. All right. So, that's all I have. This is supposed to be a Q&A, so I didn't want to talk too long, but I wanted to share those things because Jess did want me to share something that I took away from leadership. But that was it. That's all I took away from leadership, because there was nothing too crazy cool. So I'm going to open up for questions in about 15 seconds. So start queuing yourselves up for that. Give me 15 seconds. Okay. So can I just see a raised hand? Remember, no questions that can be found in FAQs. I don't know FAQ stuff. And I said, no one can come to this call without a question. So Amber, are you ready? You have a question? Okay, go ahead.
So my question is, if you could think back to the beginning with you, or with a couple of your leaders, with Jessica or Aubrey. Sorry, my twins are crazy in the background. But in the beginning, when you had really small teams, when did you make the transition into trying to do more of the training and like support, like calls and sorts of things yourselves, as opposed to relying on your upline?
So it's funny. That's a great question, Amber. She's asking, when I transitioned to doing trainings myself, running my team page myself, stuff like that, right? Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. I would say, honestly, from day one, I just oofta. Okay, Maddie's coming to get you, so go to Maddie's room, okay? See if she'll get your cough medicine. Okay? I don't know. So honestly, from day one, things have changed so much, but even if I came in today, I think I would still do it the same way. I never had the mindset, and I don't really feel like Jess or Aubrey did either, that like Melissa should do anything for me. I just never thought that. Like, I was like, okay, I get it. She's going to help me if I need it, but this is my team. This is my business. This is my identity. This is mine. Like, I wanted my team to, like, I was probably the opposite. Like, I wanted to lead from the beginning, because I was like, I want my team to be my team, not Melissa's team. Like, they would have joined with her, right? So, yeah, really from the beginning. And I would say Jess and Aubrey did too. I think they have their team in my stuff, but they, from the very, very early on, or from the beginning, also had their own team pages. Does that help, Amber? Yeah, because I think it's important to practice your leadership skills on your baby team as it grows, because those are the people that are going to, like, be there with you 10 years from now, are the people that saw your growth and saw your change. So, great question. I like both. Who is next? Wave your finger at me. Okay, I quit. I said I was not doing this call if people did not come with questions. Thank you, Suzanne. Go ahead. And yes, high fat, low carb are fine. You can ask those kinds of questions.
That's actually what I was going to ask. I didn't want to get off the business topic, but it's kind of, can you hear me okay? Because I'm on this goofy thing. Okay. My question is, because I'm the over 50 crowd, and in my own, like, I just posted something on my personal page tonight, but we're facing some issues that are more than just reining in food in a generic, and the things that are available to us in Beachbody On Demand. And you've always been really open and inviting and allowing us to invite to your groups. I guess I don't know, because I'm your personally sponsored, or if that's an open team thing, or however you work that. But I'm facing a health issue that, that I'm trying to be very open and whatever. So, but that's kind of where over the last 6 months, my confidence has kind of been shaken, because I feel like a lot of my peers are experiencing things that maybe the nutrition and the food plans on Beachbody On Demand are not going to address.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm a sharer. I'm a professional sharer and a business builder. So what do you suggest for that?
Yeah, I love that, Suzanne. I mean, I don't love that you're having struggles, but I love that question. And that's why we're working so hard right now to almost force Beachbody to come up with more options. Not because there's one right way, but because there's not one right way. You mean you could scroll through that, like the success stories like that we just posted in the team page the other day, right? Clearly, like the 21-day fix works for a lot of people. I never got past day 2. I've tried it like 97 times. I can't do it. Like, I don't know. I've done the ultimate reset a bazillion times just fine, but there's some, whatever. Anyways, yeah, that gets interesting, right? Are you looking at, like, are you wanting to do the high fat, low carb to learn? Is that something that you think that, because I know like Lauren says like that very much addresses like hormonal issues and stuff like that, which I assume is what you're hinting at with saying like the 50 and over crowd.
Well, I think it's also just age related too, so it's men as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, we can all lose weight. Like, I'm not overweight, and I haven't been since really adhering to the Beachbody programs and stuff, and the nutrition and Shakeology. But my cholesterol is through the roof. And it's a hereditary thing, and I know that there's different ways. I've been doing my own research and then following what you promote as well. So high fat, low carb, and then intermittent fasting. So I have a lot of people just basically following on that post that I put tonight that are perhaps interested. I'm not qualified to teach it. I'm qualified to be their accountability people and their coach in that way. So that's kind of where I'm struggling right now. Twofold. I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm obviously haven't addressed it myself, and just the fact that there's people out there that are better qualified.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wouldn't be doing the high fat, low carb thing if we weren't working with a doctor. That's a benefit that Lauren has that we don't all have. But that's what we're hoping to do is create that. Like, the only way Beachbody will take it on is if we get it figured out with the stinking containers. So if we could get it to work with the containers, and then everybody's doing lab results in the beginning and lab results at the end to see, so that Chris basically can bring it to them and say, I have proof. Like, the science is there. Here's the test study, like, we got to go with this, whatever. In the meantime, there are 2 things that I would suggest, Suzanne. One is, I know a lot of successful coaches who just flat out say, sorry, if you have special like health concerns, you're probably not a candidate for me, and just kind of putting that out there. Like, I'm looking to work with people that don't have any medical concerns, which does it limit you a little bit? Absolutely. But is it safer for you? Maybe. And then the other thing too is, I think always setting up the expectation a little better, right? So are you going to be able to medically diagnose and forever change someone's cholesterol? No, that is way beyond the scope of what you as a coach are supposed to do. However, take the standard American diet and compare that to, say, the portion fix. Is that going to improve their overall health and wellness? Absolutely. So are we going to solve every medical crisis as coaches without a doctor's backing? No. Are they going to be better off with your support, doing some exercise from, Beachbody On? Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, you still have a lot to offer. I think it's setting the expectation and also being okay knowing that you're still offering them better than what they're getting without your help. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely it does. I have to go back to the fact that I need to get myself healthy too, and I need to follow some sort of program. What I did was just decided I was going to put up a page and just describe what I'm doing, and people can go on there. Because I think what we do is encourage, like I said, I'm a professional sharer. This is a business for me. I'm not a fitness professional. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. But I know what I did to lose weight, and they're all Beachbody related. So, but it's just my demographic is starting to deal with some stuff that just generic. And I have to say, and this is kind of a testimonial to Beachbody products. The only reason I've gotten as far as I have with my doctor and no statins is because I've proven that I'm disciplined when it comes to working out and following the plans, and so he's given me a little credibility with that. So
nice.
So anyway, that's a Beachbody testimonial. But anyway, okay. So, but I do have lab results. So perhaps I will reach out to you as my upline and.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yep. Thank you very much.
No problem. Sarah, I haven't seen you forever, by the way. Do you still live in Texas and stuff, or did you decide to move too?
I'm here for now.
For now? What's that?
I don't know. My husband's wanting to move forever, so eventually he'll get me to do it.
Uh-oh, what?
I didn't know I was supposed to come with a question, so.
That's okay.
I'll let you know if I come up with one.
Okay, cool. Bethany's a professional question answer. I was going to say question answer.
Asker.
Questioner.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
My question is about recognition. I want to start recognizing my team a little bit more, or my challengers. I'm just trying to figure out what works for you. I know you do Thursday shout outs, but how else do you recognize your team?
How else?
That works. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably tell you more things that don't work than do. Oh, God.
Have you ever done a spotlight of a challenger, or does that work?
Yeah, it's such a touchy thing, because some people would be freaking mortified. And that would there would be people that would be like, I don't want to work with her because if I lose weight, she's going to put my shit everywhere. And there are people that are mortified of recognition. And then there are those who are totally motivated by it. And it's a fine line. I think the main question to ask yourself when you're doing recognition, there are two. One, am I recognizing something that is duplicatable and that I want duplicated? So when you're recognizing your team, is it something that you would want duplicated, and is it duplicatable? So if someone like Ashley Molstad's been in the top 10 all year, right? How'd she get there? Ashton Kutcher saw her picture and retweeted it, right? And that wasn't duplicatable. So she's had to come up with other ways to try and teach her team how to get the same success she's had, right? So do you see what I'm saying? When you're recognizing your team for something, make sure that it's something that anybody on your team could do. When you're recognizing your challengers for something, I would always ask myself, would I want to be recognized for that? And then, of course, ask them first. But, if I were scrolling by someone's page, would that be something that attracted me or scared me off? And I think, asking yourself those questions as you're doing recognition is really important. And then
say how they're doing it.
Yes.
I always forget details. I'll just shout out somebody hit SE2 in our team, and I don't tell them how they got SE2, or that they ran a great ad, or that, maybe sometimes we don't always know how.
And adding value, that value of how, and then what it means to that person. And I think, especially if we're considering, I don't know if you're in the Emerald Factory or not, but thinking about that 500 PV
person.
Emerald. That 500 PV coach, and thinking about Diamond Strong, really maybe, and I've been thinking about this transition. It's tough with the coup being so screwed up right now too, but really considering not just doing a 500 a week shout out, but what would 125 board, 125, because if they're doing 125 a week, they're going to be in the 500 for the month. So maybe changing up the rank or the point volume at which is shout out per week.
Shout outable.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a word.
I would say too, it can also be a fine line because, like, do you want your coaches working for recognition, or do you want them working for something a little more sustainable, you know? And so I think those are just all things to consider as you're doing
And
it.
what motivates them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I'll do a survey. What motivates
Yeah,
you?
and then what, you know, it's like, because here's the thing, like, and I'm just being honest and sharing my struggles with recognition. I'm not giving you a very good answer because honestly, I don't have one. But like, say there's someone on your team who's super duper motivated by recognition, but is really far off from being in a place where they could get some of the recognition that you're shouting out,
Yeah.
right? That could be really demotivating for that person because they're like, oh, it's always the same 3 people, like, well, you know, like that kind of thing. So it's, I don't know, maybe someone else has a better answer, but, and I'm definitely a monster of just habit with this right now. Like I'm kind of in the,
You do the team shout outs. Yeah.
yeah, the team, and I do the weeks, and then I do a month, and then just like when I'm scrolling, if I see something great, I'm going to share it. And then in the October group, you know, every time someone got a Success Club point, they had to share how and yada, yada, yada. I know Alicia, a long time ago, Sarah will remember how she did it, but she did like a ring the bell, which was super cute, where people kind of went in. Do you remember her doing that? I remember. Oh yeah, maybe you weren't in her page then or something, but
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Megan does that.
it was a long time ago, but yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like it's like a ring the bell where you like, whatever. So there's a million different ways. I think that's maybe something to chat with Jess about too. Like, what's your team culture like?
Mhm.
What are, you know, there's just a lot of things to consider. And obviously there must not be just one right way to do it, because I still struggle with it a little bit. So.
Mhm. Okay, thanks.
And here's the other thing. Recognition, I'm sorry, but recognition can be private too. And I think sometimes that's 20 times more powerful than the public recognition. I would much rather any day get something private at home or in my inbox or where I would much prefer private recognition than public. I get it. Like sometimes we need the public recognition to see like so our people see it, but for the most part, like it's a lot more meaningful. So I tend to think like the little things mean a lot more, both for your challengers and your coaches.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
yep. Who is next? Carla?
I'm just
Go
going to
ahead.
unmute myself.
Yep.
Okay. So I think my biggest struggles, obviously I'm more similar to Jess I'm a runner, so I'm not straight just like beach body. So I feel like a lot of my posts are running because hell, I'm training for my 4th marathon in like a year and a half, you know, like it's kind of my thing. So I really struggle with keeping fresh ideas and content because I feel like it's always like I'm running again and okay, now I'm gonna do a cross training. And so where do you kind of get some ideas for keeping fresh content?
I don't like fresh content. Thank you for asking. No, I mean it. I'm really glad that. What is happening with this light? There's a light in my room that keeps going on and off. Sure. Okay. No, I don't like fresh content. Here's the thing. Unless you're sick of telling your story, your audience hasn't heard enough.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. There are things like, okay, there's this study, and I'm going to muck this whole thing up, but there's this study. This guy had hit this assistant, right? Do this whole like really long video project about this really moving emotional story, yada, yada, yada. This guy had to edit it, blah, 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 right? Puts this video together of this emotional journey, yada, yada. Literally 1 year later, the assistant that like clipped all the edits together, put the video together, blah, 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 saw the video and had no idea, like didn't even know he had anything to do with it. Like he watched the video as if he were experiencing it the very first time. And so they did this study on it. And bottom line is like, we don't remember stuff. I don't remember my own crap, let alone someone else's. as humans, we love to kind of like compartmentalize people, right? Like we like to know, there it goes. We like to know what to expect. So I like to go to Jess's page and I'm like, I expect to see healthy family recipes. I expect to see something about her kids. I expect to see something about running and like cross training or stretching and coffee and wine. I expect these things. And I could not tell you if the cup of coffee I see on her page today is the one she posted 7 weeks ago. Honestly, as long as the pictures of her kids are within the last freaking year, I probably wouldn't know that either. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't care. I want Jess to fit in the little Jess box that I think Jess fits in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I go to Jess because I don't care if it's something I haven't heard before or not. I care that I'm going there because I'm looking for a recipe or I want to see cute kids or I want to know something about running. I don't care if I've seen it before or not. I'm looking for it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so I do it all the time. I recycle my content all the time. Nobody knows.
Example, Amanda and I are success partners, right? And so there's been a few posts lately that I'm like, girl, you killed it. And she's like, yeah, I know. I found it from my On This Day like 2 years ago. I know for a fact I've loved that post before, and she just recycled it, right? Sorry, I totally cut you off. But
No, you're totally right.
new picture, maybe tweaked it a little bit. But I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, your post was so amazing. Really spoke to me. Probably because it spoke to me for like the third time.
I've done it too. Recycle.
Okay.
So I do not, Carla, just embrace that that's what you are and who you do. And you know what? If it feels repetitive, that's a post in and of itself. Man, life feels like a grind sometimes.
Gotcha. Yep.
I love what I'm doing. You know, like, yeah. I love
Right,
that. I love that.
actually. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel the same, Carla. I feel the same, and I'm not bored reading your page ever. So,
and I think something that Jess and I do really well together is like, I'm like, I'll text her and I'd be like, I have no value to add. I haven't been on social media since Friday. What? And she'll be like, you know what? You haven't really posted a selfie lately. You know? And I'm like, okay, fine. And I'll put something on and I'll take a picture and then I'll find something and I'll post it. You know, like, so asking your success partner too to just take a scroll through your stuff, like someone that knows what your box is or whatever you want to call it. Because, you know, there'll be times like I'll be like, Jess, like you know, like some people are like, I haven't seen Ainsley forever. I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, so.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Who's next? Thank you. Yay, Leah. Awesome.
Okay, so this is actually an Instagram story because I know you're really big on Instagram stories. Well, I follow you on Instagram stories.
I'm in a story right now.
So, okay, this is part of my question. How do you remember to do this? Because you have like multiple stories throughout the entire day. I get through like the morning and then I totally space and I'm like, oh, I need to do this. And I forget. How do you remember to do it?
So how do I remember the story? One, if someone asks me about Instagram story. Okay, sorry. I had to do that. Okay. So honestly, okay. So sometimes now, like I'll open Instagram to take a picture before I'll open my own camera because when you're storing, you can click save. So a lot of times now I'll do my picture or my story or my video in Instagram and then I'll click save before I put all the filters and stuff on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. The other part is I know that right now that Instagram is my job, you know? So I'm like, okay, am I doing I know like the things that I want to hit every day. Like I don't every day, but most days you'll see me do something with a shake. I'm usually doing something. I've been out of energized for like a week. I'm like really frustrated about that. I've been having like 3 cups of coffee in the morning trying to like fake energize. But like I'll post something with energize or Shakeology after a little bit of my workout. My niece lives with me now. And so she kind of helps with like workouts. Like if you've seen some of the ones lately where like Ryder's been in, I'm like, he's on my leg. Stop what you're doing and film me. And like, you can make it up later. So she'll like real quick grab, she has my Instagram on her phone. So she'll grab her phone, her phone and she'll video. So that helps if like, are you married or anything? Do you live with
Yes.
anybody? Okay.
I'm married and I have 2 dogs. That's my life.
Okay. So if your husband doesn't Instagram, put your Instagram on his phone so he can story you doing stuff throughout the day.
Okay.
And then, I just try to remember, like, that's my job. I honestly open Instagram now much, much, much more than I open Facebook. And I just think, like, every time I pick up my phone, I think, would I want to story what I'm doing right now? And is what I'm doing right now consistent with my image or whatever? So.
Are you getting a lot of traction from your Instagram stories?
So here's what happens with Instagram stories. What it does is as long as you're doing at least 9 stories a day, okay, 2 things. One, I have it set so it goes to my Facebook My Day thing,
Okay.
right? Mm-hmm. So it is going there. So what happens on both Instagram and Facebook is it gives your regular Instagram and Facebook posts more affinity because you're using their little story things. So it does help because of that. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to see where, and I get about 100 people, I guess, watching my story, which is not that great considering my following. So I'm working on that. My life's not that interesting because I have a lot of kids. I mean, like, it's kind of same old shit, new day. But I do it because I want people to see my Instagram posts, not so much because I care if they're watching my story. I mean, hell, if I'm doing it, I'd love it if you'd watch it. But, you see what I mean, though, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not as concerned as to how many people are watching my story as I am with how many people are seeing my posts. And then also, the people that are engaged enough to see my story, are they the people that matter? Like, does that make sense? So yes, I would say yes.
Got it.
I've heard Instagram gives more affinity if you use their little thingamajiggies on your story.
Yep. Use filters and use all things, and like even make them like really teeny tiny. Like sometimes I'll like make them really small and like hide them in the clothes because I'm like, haha, Instagram, I'm using your stuff and you can't see it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, that's a really good idea.
I saw today on one of my marketing people that you can actually upload to stories from your photo album.
Yeah, you can.
If you've got the new update, so.
Yep, you can. Sometimes it's not sized exactly right, but yeah, you can. And that's helpful too. Instagram is where it's at, full show. Let's see. Melissa or Angela or Kayla, anything? Oh, quiet ones.
So the question that I have is if you're continuing to see much success from running ads for your free groups.
Oh, don't talk to me about that, Angela. No.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know because it seems like there's a lot of ups and downs with it. Okay.
Ugh. Makes me shudder right now. Oh, there is something that I'm paying for right now that I will share with you guys, though. I need to get this guy's info. So I just started using, okay, let me see. I'm going to screenshot this. Then I'm going to airdrop it to my computer. Hold on. And then I'll share it with you guys if I can. Let's see. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Can I share an image in there? Um, can I do that? Come up? No, it didn't. Hold on. Let me see if I can share attachment. No. Okay, well, I'll post it in the team page, okay? It's on my computer now. So I'm going to post a phone number. Okay, there's an app called WhatsApp. You have all probably heard of it, whether you're using it or not. It's called WhatsApp. Download the app, and what I'm going to post is this guy's WhatsApp contact number, okay? What he does is he runs this little company that, and I imagine I'm pretty sure I know how he does it, but I pay him for 30 days. I can post as many posts as I want on Instagram for 30 days because that's what I've paid for. And within 1 hour, each post that I have is guaranteed 200 likes. Does that make sense? Real likes by real Instagram people. What that does is because I think I have like 25, not quite 2,500 followers on Instagram, which is crap. But out of those 2,500, I was getting like 25 likes, which is what, 1%, right? Are you with me? So like nobody was seeing my stuff on Instagram. But when I get 200 likes, right, because that's 10%, then Instagram goes, oh, well, at least 10% of people, whatever. And so it gives my stuff affinity, gets me seen by more people, and therefore my Instagram following grows, yes, organically. So I am not paying for followers. Are you following me for real? Like truly, like tell me if you're not getting what I'm saying. Okay, try it. So anyways, listen to this though. I paid $30 to have that for 30 days. That's a really awesome price, right? Like I feel like everybody could do that. And then there's less too. Like he will recommend you like which one or whatever, like I think kind of based on your following and the kind of interaction that you've got. And then like he's been cool, like he'll tell me like Instagram tips and stuff, like he'll message me back and forth, and he does it for really big accounts too. He actually works for Melissa too. She's got 227,000 followers, and so he guarantees her like 2,000 likes or something like that, whatever. So basically it just gives you affinity and makes sure that you get seen. But seriously, for $30, that to me is worth it. And what happens, and what's been happening has been like every once in a while, like I'll notice my followers go, hey buddy, I love you. Oh, you rub my belly? Is my belly fat or something? Oh, you rubbed my belly, like. Oh, thanks. Oh, where was I at with that? Someone help me out. I was in the middle of saying something about it.
So you were saying it's a great price, the $30 for 30 days.
Yep. It is.
And about Melissa had 200,000.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just has a ratio. So kind of like he'll recommend like what he thinks like you should have, because you don't want to have some outrageous number of likes per your followers either. Like if I had 500 likes on every post, Instagram would probably be like, what is this person doing, right?
I think you were saying too how it brought.
Yes, that's what I was saying. So so initially like every couple of days, like I'll see it go down a little bit, but I want it to. Listen, my number of followers will go down and then it'll jump up, and then it'll go down and it'll jump up again. And here's why. There are those people out there who are following me that forgot they were following me and are like, ew, I don't like that bitch, I'm going to unfollow her. They're seeing my stuff too, right? So I'm okay losing a few of the people who don't like me. Overall, my following has grown. I have been using him since I've been only using him for, how long have I been back from Vegas? Like 2 weeks, right? And my number of followers has gone up by about 50 in 2 weeks, which that's good. I'll take that. It's not some outrageous thing, but for $30, it's getting me seen more. And I make it my goal to put 5 posts a day. I don't always get 5 a day, but I try to get 5 Instagram posts a day because I'm like, I'm going to use this while I have it, you know? And I will, based on what I've seen so far, I'll continue to use him because he's done what he's promised, which is I get at least 200 likes, usually within about the first 15 minutes of posting, but always within the first hour of posting. And my following has gone up. So I'll post the picture of his like WhatsApp phone number and you can reach out.
Bring people to you.
So I'm assuming like, okay, imagine my assistant Maddie, right? Like if she just wanted to like work on social media, he probably has like all these employees that get paid to like certain people's posts. And so he probably just gives them like the username and they probably set up alerts like, hey, every time this person posts, and they would go to their phone and they just go like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's how he does it. Cause it's not those people that are,
you want. Yeah. You don't care.
No, I don't care. Like they're not the ones who end up following me. They're just there to like my stuff and get it seen by people. So the new followers I'm getting are the people that are following me because my stuff's showing up in their feed or like they're finding because of my hashtags and different things like that. Just, you know, so I would, I'll post his thing and then just please say that I sent you. I don't know if he'll help a sister out, but he might. And hopefully he'll give you the same pricing he gave me. And if not, tell me and I'll go chew him out. So, but yeah, I there's a lot of things that are like, I wouldn't recommend Facebook ads right now. Really, they kind of suck balls and Instagram shout outs are hit or miss, but this is working for me right now. So I'll take it. Anything else before we go? Sabrina, go ahead. Oh, she raised her hand and disappeared. There she is.
Okay, sorry, I had to unmute myself. 2 questions. First of all, do you think for the limited time that I have with Beachbody, I should focus more maybe towards Instagram versus Facebook? And then the second thing is, how do you keep out like all the quick fixes? Like, how do you not let that affect your mindset? Because here in Iowa, it's like, seems like they are just like constantly, you know, new people going to the quickest fix, and it's so frustrating, but I don't know how to combat it without being like, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess I just don't even think about it. I live in a bigger area, but I feel like everybody here is the same way. I mean, it's even just on social media, just across, I mean, that's just the way, that's human nature. I think that's why we're in our business, if anything, is the hard business, because we're not a wrap or a pill or a quick sell. We are legitimately people's last resort. When they have tried everything else, then they're willing to resort to, fine, I'll eat healthy and work out because none of this other crap worked, you know? So I kind of feel like we're already that last resort. Maybe my mindset is more like, okay, fine, go try your wrap. I'll still be here in 6 months, crushing it, being fit. Good luck. Bye. You know, so I think probably the best way to combat it is to be the proof. And then, yeah, I would say focus on Instagram. And if anything, just use the same words and then change the picture and put it on Facebook. I mean, that's 2 seconds, copy paste, done. And then you're in 2 places.
Okay.
Because I would say I'm definitely not interacting with the same people, even though I will post a lot of the same content. It's definitely different people seeing it in both places for me.
Well, and I've noticed the Facebook ads. I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't have a following, but I get like random people who I don't think that
Right. I even with pretty specific avatar settings for me, I'm still not real
So
impressed.
that guy, I don't have a very like big following at all. Like I don't even know if I have 100 on Instagram. Would it still work for me if I don't have that many followers?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say reach out to him and see what he can do. Let me see. I'm trying to look at what his like package things were. Yeah, so the packages he gave me was 100 likes per post is $20, 200 likes per post is $29, and 500 likes per post is $49. Yeah, I would say reach out. I mean, what's the worst thing you can say? No, it'd be a waste of your money. I mean,
Okay.
if not, at least maybe he'll have some other tips for you or some advice. He seems pretty eager to help, so.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, my ears are burnt, so I'm going to peace out. I don't know if Jess has anything she wants to finish up with you guys. Oh, my dog wants to go out too.
I just wanted to thank Amanda for being here, and it's always just such a joy to be able to pick your brain and have you light our fire. And I'm just so appreciative to all of you who took the time out of your busy night to hop on. Are you guys feeling fired up? Yeah. Anything else? Okay. All right. Love you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get to work.